Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the DJ Spot. With me tonight, as I had promised, is DJ Castro. Welcome, DJ Castro. How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm doing good, Dr. E. I'm doing good.
Well, it's great to have you with me tonight. Tell us a little bit about yourself. This name, DJ Castro, what is that all about?
First of all, it's my pleasure to be here with you. Well, the name Castro came by when I was in the Peacemaker group, did the Peacemaker disco, Duke Fuller. When I was much younger, I had a full beard. Actually, I had a full beard at a very young age, and I used to like in back in Jamaica, you had the military caps that looked like Castro's caps that you could buy from off the street. I had one of those, and when I was in the group, I used to wear that. So that's how the name Castro got planted on me, and it
So
stuck.
you so you were named after Fidel Castro?
I guess they said I looked like him. So at the time when I had a beard, this is when I was like what 19, 20, that age around that time.
Okay, so you are from Jamaica then, eh?
Yes, I was born and grew in Jamaica. Um, Went to school, worked for a while in Jamaica, and then
Uh-huh.
migrated to the U.S. In
Where in Jamaica were you born?
I was born in Kingston, in St. Joseph's Hospital, in the
St.
year.
Joseph's,
Yeah,
that's off Tom Redcam Road, right? Right next
right.
to the stadium.
That's right. In
I
the year 1961, I just gave away my age, but I don't mind.
61.
Yeah,
Wow. So you're an old man.
exactly. Been
Well, I'm
around,
older
been
than you
around,
anyway.
yeah, been
I'm
around.
still older than you. You're still a baby.
Oh, I didn't get to that stage yet.
Anyway, it's good to have you with me tonight. And as we talk tonight, I want you to feel relaxed and just share your heart so that our listeners will get to know a little bit about you. Now, you said you were born in Kingston at St. Joseph's Hospital, and I suppose you also went to school in Kingston, right?
Yes, I did. I did.
Which schools did you go to?
I attended Holy Childhood Prep
Uh huh.
at one point, and then I went to Woolmer's Prep, and then for high school I went to Calabar High School.
Oh, you're a C bar?
Yep,
I shouldn't be talking to you.
I know
Uh,
KC.
sh-
Well,
sh-
actually, when I passed back then, it was common entrance.
yes, I know that. I know that exam.
And when I passed my common entrance, it was for Calabar. But at the
Uh huh.
time, they didn't have, remember back in those days, sometimes they never have a space or an opening.
Uh huh.
So I ended up at Excelsior for a little bit, for about
Uh huh.
probably a month or so. And then an opening happened and I switched from Excelsior to Calabar. So,
Oh my. I have so many friends from Calabar, and we always seem to be fighting about something.
well, it's been like that ever since then. If it's not athletics, it's scholastics or,
Ah,
whatever, you know?
whatever. We are known to be warriors, and we have. You see, you have C-bar, you have Stats, you have KC, and George's College.
GSE
Not so
and
much,
GSE.
and
You have
JC.
GSE. Yeah,
Arden was way out there, and
that's
Camperdown
right.
was another.
Yeah. That's true.
But you
But
notice, no,
I was a Calabar man, Calabar all the way.
yeah, but nobody talks about Woolmer's boys, which is kind of weird.
Well, my older brother, I have an older brother, he went to Woolman's. And
Uh,
my younger sister also went to Woolman's Girls. So
Mm.
I didn't follow that trend. I went to Calabar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what did you study?
Not that I didn't get a chance. I just never wanted to go to, I just wanted to go work and play music.
Oh my. So you
Yeah.
had a music bug. Why?
Yeah,
What inspired that?
that come from my mother.
Really?
Yeah.
Explain.
My mother was, when I was very little, when all four of us, she has four children, all four of us were, when we were young, but
Hmm.
there's always music in my house, in the house. And my mother was the one. She would buy the records and bring them. And she had I don't remember if you remember, a Telefunken um,
Hmm.
stereo system.
Yes.
And she would stack. Remember how you used to stack the records on the thing, and when one's finished playing, the next one drop.
Yes.
And that kind of it kind of I liked it. I was intrigued by that. Not
Yes.
only that, the music, and she would play. I remember Ernest Smith, Percy Sledge on Sunday, and
Hmm.
when cooking, Sunday dinner, Percy Sledge, Patches, and there was another song that the only one who could ever reach was the son of a preacher man. I remember that.
Yes. I remember that
And,
one.
and the Archies, Sugar Sugar.
Hmm.
Um, I remember a Dillinger, Buck and the Preacher, and I was always, that's where she was the one, she was the life. And then when we start to grow older now and become teenagers, each one of us had a Sweet 16 birthday party.
Wow.
And my mother was the backbone behind that, the planning and all that stuff, and getting the food, the liquor, and the invitations and everything. So that's
Wow.
where I got the music.
Hold on. You're talking about liquor at a sweet 16 birthday party?
Well, back then, in the 70s, it's a Sweet 16 party, but you have big people coming too. You have grown folks coming, but the 16-year-old
Yes.
are not getting the liquor. They might get the soft drinks and stuff because the liquor is rather serious watch, you know. So, but back in Jamaica back then, when you have a party, whether it's a 6 sweet 16 or whatever,
Uh-huh.
adults going to be there,
Yes.
So, but my mother was the backbone behind all that stuff. She was the life. She loved to dance and stuff like that. And music was just in my house all the time. And out
So,
of her children, we all like music, but I was the one who really, really, took it to another level, you know.
so what did
And
you do? What did you just go straight into playing a disco
no,
or
this
playing
is
what?
all right. After I graduated high school, I started
Mm,
working. I used to work for down on East Street, a law firm, Silvera and Silvera. I
mm,
was legal clerk for them. This is 1979 now.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
while working, I used, after work you go dance or you go party or whatever and them things. So one
mm-hmm,
evening, I always liked music because even when I was going to high school, I would have a best friend in high school. He lives in New York now.
mm-hmm,
He and I were like we were meant to be because he was crazy about music, so was I. And we would go to Dynamics, Aquarius, Joe Gibbs record shop, the one up in Premier Plaza. There was a record shop up there where Peter Tosh used to hang out back in the
mm-hmm,
70s. Go buy records and stuff like that. And then after high school, one afternoon, I took a friend, I had a car back then, and I asked him to take him home, if I could drop him
mm,
home. He lived off Reynolds Road. Um, I think it's what, Christopher Boulevard or something like that. Right after you
mm-hmm.
pass Turntable.
Yes,
Remember
I know where
Turn?
that is.
All right. After you pass Turntable and you pass right across from Turntable was a pastry shop.
Mm,
We used to sell beer claw and elephant ears and them kind of thing. After you pass that, there was on your right hand side, I think that's Christopher Boulevard. I went up that road, that's where he lived. And we got to his house and we were outside talking now, and I heard music playing. So I asked him, who is that up the street? Where the music come from? He said to me, that's the Peacemaker Disco. I said, oh, him said, I said, I never heard of them. Him said, I'm a friend them. I could go introduce you. So he took me up there and I saw they had just got some new speaker boxes and stuff and they were testing them. So I went up there
Mm.
and they introduced me to this is where my first encounter with Squeeze, the
Wow.
famous Squeeze, Teen Jam days
Yes.
Squeeze. This
Yes.
is my
Yes.
this is when Squeeze was very young, tall, young, and I met NASA, one of the original, and Chris. Chris was Duke Fuller's stepson.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see
Mm-hmm.
the Duke because the Duke wasn't there yet. So I asked them where they were going to be this weekend, and I went there, and that's where my journey with Peacemaker started. You know,
Wow. So did
and
you
then
did you play with them for a while?
yeah, oh yeah, from then till I left Jamaica.
Oh my.
So I became Squeeze. Well, Mr. Fuller was the big man, the Duke.
Mm-hmm.
He was the big man. He played the big parties, the big people party them where, you dress nice and, your steppers and them kind of, that's the kind of part him controller because he had a box that in that
Mm.
box was 45s and nobody touched that box. That box had a padlock and you dare not go in there. But it had some wicked tune in there, Dr. E, some wicked steppers.
I can imagine.
So,
I can imagine.
and then no Squeeze was the DJ after Mr. Fuller.
Mm.
And then I was the backup, the second when Squeeze tired, or I would play the soul,
Mm.
and it's a break. And that's how my whole thing come with the music, which I love because I always wanted to play a song.
Good.
But prior to
So
Peacemaker, I used to follow Plus X. Never
mm.
played it, but I just followed them because that's how I met Bunny. Bunny from Plus X, Bunny and Ever.
Yes.
I know
Yes,
them
yes,
from
yes.
Jamaica because of Plus X.
Oh
You
my.
know,
So you
yes.
had a lot of exposure to the music industry for a while.
Yeah, and I have to give a lot of people thanks
Hmm.
for where I'm at now, as far as music is concerned.
Hmm.
Number one, Miss Duke Fuller. Duke Fuller.
Yes.
He when he taught us, meaning all of us that was in the group and that was interested in playing music, how to play music, when to play music, and the type of music.
That's
Know the
interesting.
difference. Know the difference between beats and this beat and that beat. And if you look at my laptop now, a lot of people
Hmm.
look at my laptop and they say, "What does it mean? HBF?" I said, "That's a half beat funk. A
Mm.
extra half, B for beat, F for funk." So it's a put it this way, Doctor E. It's an easier way and a quicker way to find a next tune that can mix with that tune.
Yes, so you have to mix different songs of the same beat for your purpose.
Right. And know
Yeah.
how to come from one beat tempo into a totally different beat tempo, but don't make it sound like a
A
racetrack.
break. Yes.
You know,
Yes,
and
I see.
and
I see.
and then I have Mr. Fuller is one, and the next very very important person that has a big influence on me in the music
Hmm.
is Mr. Ike.
Wow.
Mr.
Wow.
Mikey Naismith. And
Mikey
I met,
Nay.
yeah,
We have Mikey Nay coming up in a few weeks for his interview, so I'll have a
yeah,
chance to talk to him about that.
yes, I met Mikey in Philadelphia because when I left Jamaica, Philadelphia was where I was my destination,
Mm.
and going around town and stuff like that, music and going to clubs, and stuff like that. Mikey was the one, or one of the ones, but he was more like he wasn't so much into the dance hall. He was into proper music.
Mm.
Mikey would set up dances and stuff like that. And ever since then till now, Mikey and I are very good friends. Very, very
That's
good friends.
great. That's great.
Mikey know my family. He does.
Uh-huh.
You know?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. And
Hey,
then
I want to go back to Jamaica a little bit.
Yeah.
before we talk about your journey to the US.
Mhm.
Now, you went to CBAR, you did you started the music industry in Jamaica. Did you
Right.
do radio in Jamaica as well?
No, I didn't get a chance. I didn't do radio, but I went to the radio station on a very awkward situation.
Hmm.
If you would like me to explain,
Go ahead.
um, back then in the 80s, Peacemaker had all the hottest discos that was playing in America. They
Hmm.
weren't in the island yet because of Mr. Fuller's connection.
Hmm.
He would get them, they would come down. So the radio stations knew we had them, hear them playing, and they wanted to play them or make recordings of them. So we would have to Barry G. That's how I know Barry G. And I can't remember who the guy was from RJR. I don't remember who it was. Because remember, it was only two stations back
I
then, you
think
know.
was it Magnus?
No, no, it's a guy at night. He played at night. It's
Okay.
not Don Topping. It's not Don Topping. I can't remember his name. I can't remember. But he was one and Barry G was one because we wouldn't let them take the records because you never would get it back. So we went, Squeeze and I went to JBC and went in the studios, watched them do them show, play them blues, record whatever, and made sure we got our records back. Same thing with RGR, you know?
Okay.
But never did radio, never did radio, just parties and dance.
Okay. Okay. So when did you come to the US?
In 1982. I think it was in the summer, either June or July.
Hmm. What spurred that? Your mother decided to take you or what?
Yep, my mom decided to take all of us out of right after the 80 election, if you remember that election.
Yes. Remember that
Well,
time.
well, the way it worked out, the papers were filed long when we were little kids. And now
Hmm.
when we were teenagers, that's when the papers came through. And it
Hmm.
so happened that it came through right after the election.
Yes. That was a turbulent period for sure, you know. By the way, backtrack. What is your real name?
My real name is Michael Kadu.
Michael Kadu. Okay.
Kadu with a
Well,
K.
well, before we go into any further, let's hear one of your songs. Talk about the songs that you like, and let's play one.
I like my one of my favorite artists is Dennis Brown. You know, Dennis Brown, and the other one is Freddie McGregor. So I always like I always like songs that has substance and have a message and a meaning. So this is the one I like to play a lot, and sometimes I end my Saturday morning showcase show with this song.
Awesome, awesome. Let There Be Light. Dennis Brown.
Yes.
What's
Yeah.
so
Big
special
Brown.
about that song?
It's the melody, the lyrics, the words. If you hear what he's saying, it has something to do with a lady also, brown skin.
Hmm.
So it's just I love the song because it feels it gives me a feeling of happiness, and always look to the light when things look dark and stuff. The light will always be there. The light just light everything up. So sometimes when
Awesome.
you down and stuff like that, and I love to use this particular Dennis Brown. There's a lot of Dennis Brown that you can use as messages, but this is one of my favorite ones. That's a "Let There Be Light." And if you listen to it, then it can mean different things to different people. But to me, it represents happiness and don't give up. In no matter what you're doing, don't give up. There's always going to be a light somewhere. Nothing lasts forever. I love to tell my friends and my close people close to me, in anything. I can tell myself that sometimes daily. Nothing lasts forever. If somebody bothering you or something not working out for you, just remember this: it don't last forever. It have to end. You know.
That's true. That's true. Okay. So you are now in the US. You came here at 22, 21, 22. What did you do when you came here?
I worked for a while and then I went straight in the military,
Oh, so what branch of the military were you in?
the army. I did
Army.
6 years, U.S. Army.
Oh, so you did 6 years. Chard did 8. Okay. So when did you leave?
I got out, and the only reason I got out is I got hurt. I got injured
Mm.
in army, and um, I did I didn't get hurt in Panama because I went to Panama. If you remember the Noriega,
Yes, yes.
the Noriega skirmish, I went to that, and I was slated to go to the first Desert Storm, but God worked it out that the morning that I was to go on the tarmac and everything ready to go, the war ended.
Oh
So I
my.
didn't get to go to that one, but I went to Panama.
Well, thank you so much for your service. We really appreciate that.
You're welcome, Dr. E. And how I got injured is on a training mission. In My unit was based in upstate New York. It's called the 10th Mountain Division, Light Infantry,
Hmm.
and because that's what I was an infantryman. And we trained in snow in cold weather because if you know upstate New York, it's
Hmm.
cold. After you pass Syracuse, and
Hmm.
right, I was stationed an hour away from the Canadian border,
Wow.
like from Kingston, Canada. If you know Canada,
Hmm.
Kingston, Canada, Ottawa. I was an hour away. So we used to when we get time off, instead of go or drive all the way to Philly, I would have just go New York over to Canada
Buffalo.
and go part
Oh,
there and then come back over. So I was on a training exercise and it was at night and full gear and everything. And it was snowing and going down this rappelling down the side of the mountain of a mountain, and I slipped on the ice on the edge, but I was on rope. I swung out
mm.
and swing back in, and the left shoulder slammed into the side of the mountain. And
Oh my.
at the time you don't think nothing of it, because you have all this gear and everything on you, and you blood pumping and everything. And what had happened is hitting the side of the mountain with my shoulder. I had broke my clavicle. It came up
Mm.
off the shoulder, the top of the shoulder joint, but I didn't know that. It was the following day when it swollen big and can't move my hand, and went to the
Medic.
when you're in the field, they call it the field hospital, and you see
Hmm.
the physician assistant, and he took one look at it and said, "You have a broken clavicle." you need to go to the rear to go to the hospital. So they had to take me out of the bush and take me to the hospital on the base. And
Mm.
they explained what happened and if I had a choice, surgery or no surgery. Without surgery, I wouldn't have use of my left shoulder, and with surgery, I could use my left hand, but I can't carry nothing heavy on the left shoulder.
Oh
So
my.
that was
So that was
so
disappointing for you, eh?
yes, but being an infantryman, when for you to when if you have to carry all kind of things, a rock, sack, heavy stuff, and you have to, you have to do no a lot of strenuous stuff. So they realized that I won't be able to do that. So what they did was they wanted to reclassify me, and to a military police.
Wow.
And I didn't want that. So I had to go. I had to go. I know once you get hurt in the military, you're
Hmm.
classified as a profile, whether it's a back injury, whatever it is. Because remember, when you go in the military, you're going 100%. You sign on the
Hmm.
dotted line, you belong to Uncle Sam. So anything happened to you in there, it's their responsibility. Plus, you're gonna get
VA
some
benefits.
because you came in at 100% and you're leaving with
Hmm.
either arm, no arm, whatever it is. But you get classed on a percentage like 10, 15, 20, 30. 100% is loss of limb.
Hmm.
That's the only way you're going to get 100% loss of limb. You understand? So me,
Yes.
what they did, I had to do the surgery and they sent me to Fort Dix, New Jersey, and I did the surgery there. So what they did was from the neck on the left side, they cut from here and on your clavicle sits in cartilage on top of your shoulder, and once it breaks it cannot heal back. It don't cartilage don't heal back. It's just like your knee. When
Hmm.
you keep run years and years, your cartilage rub down as bone on bone, cartilage don't come back. It's the same thing in the shoulder. It can't put it back, so they took it out and just leave a little piece right here. And the effects of that is when I was living in Philadelphia, every time it got cold, it hurt.
I
They
can
told me that.
imagine.
And they said, you're going to have rheumatoid arthritis in your shoulder.
Mm.
Well, sometimes it do, sometimes it don't. But I can tell you when rain coming, and I can tell you when cold weather coming. Because it starts to hurt, you know?
So a
So
human weather machine.
right. So the other side to that now is I went before the what we call a medical board in the military because I know have a it's called a P3 profile. Each profile has a different category. Mine is P3. So I went before them and they wanted to me to be a military MP and I tell them no, if I can't be infantry, I don't want to do nothing else. Come you want to jump
Mm.
out of a helicopter and everything and exciting stuff.
Mm.
So I said, okay, all right, well, we're going to profile you out with what they call from the time you come in till the
Hmm.
time the rank that you get profile out of, you're gonna get paid for that plus, I forgot what them call it. It's a I can't remember the exact lettering that they use, the wording, but in other words, then you get paid because you came
Okay.
in 100% and you're leaving with an
Less
injury.
than.
So that's how I got out honorable discharged of the military.
Okay.
But the good thing about the military, my first 3 years, I loved it so much that I re-upped. I did 6 years. So they said to
Mm.
me, okay, you have a good record. Yeah, you're clean. You don't get in trouble. Would you think about becoming a citizen? And I said, yes. And
Mm.
that's how I got my citizenship in in 1980, 88, I think, something like that.
Mm.
Back then, Dr. E, it was only $50.
Wow.
We only paid
Wow.
$50. So when they asked me that and I said yes, they said, okay, we're going to take you out of training and we're going to send you to classes. So they took me out of training rotation and I went every morning. I would get up and go to the class, the citizenship class, and I'd be, you know, hey, anybody would love to do that to get out of running, push-ups, weightlifting, or combat drills, or just out in the sun. So I get well with that. So I did the classes, and then they sent me to, because I was so close to Canada. You
Hmm.
know, crossing the border, you have to go through U.S. immigration, and then on the other end of the bridge is Canadian immigration. If anybody go to Canada, know that. If you drive through
Hmm.
Canada. So I went up there, the Thousand Island U.S. immigration station, and I did my interview there. And after I passed the interview, he said, "Okay, you're going to go to Syracuse. You're going to go down in
Mm.
Syracuse to the courthouse in Syracuse, and you're going to be sworn in on such and such a date." I don't remember as when what date it was. It was years ago. So I did that and I went down there and swore in and got, and right there and then, I don't know if I'm doing it now. When I got sworn in, I got my US passport right there and they took the
That's awesome.
Jamaican. Yeah, that's what they did back then. And I took the Jamaican passport and bore a whole bunch of holes up in it, put it in a machine and it stamp holes in it. You know, so that's how I got my US citizenship. And I got my
That's
certificate.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome. So,
yeah,
are you married? Do you have any children or anything like that?
I I am not married. I am divorced, you know, and I have two children. Two, I have a boy and a girl, and they're all grown and they're still living in Philly. They're still in Philadelphia, you know.
Okay.
So
So you are currently in Florida. When did
right,
you come to Florida?
I came to Florida in 2005. That's the year I came to Florida, and I worked for LabCorp, Laboratory Corporation of America,
Hmm.
and I work for them up there in Philadelphia, and they are all over the country and in the world. So I just transferred from Philly to Florida with the same job, and I'm still with that job up to this day. 33 years on this job.
What's that
You know,
job?
huh? Yeah, 33 years.
What is that job title that you
I'm
currently
a I'm
hold?
a I'm a service rep. In other words,
Okay.
it's a fancy name for courier. What I do on a daily basis, I have a route and I go to, I don't know if you ever get your blood drawn where you have to go to the station and get the ladies, you show them your requisition and then the ladies take you in and they draw your blood.
Hmm.
Well, I am the one that comes around on a schedule, and once they have everything, by 11 o'clock, I have 8 stations that I have to do daily, along with in between, maybe a doctor office or a gynecologist offices in between, right? So a total of, well, years ago, it used to be over 100 stops a day,
Wow.
you know, but in this world, in the lab world, insurance is what the insurance companies dictate. So it becomes like a big bidding war between the top labs like Quest,
Mm.
LabCorp, the big labs. You understand? So the one who win the bid for like um the big insurance companies, United Health and stuff like that, then
Hmm.
they get that. And
Okay.
it's a cycle. It's like, all right, for 5 years, Quest will have United Health, and then LabCorp will come up with something or some innovative thing, and then outbid Quest, and it comes back. That's how it goes. But on a daily basis, Dr. E, I have 24 stops that I do. I start at 11
Wow.
and I finish at 7. And I
That's a lot of
drive,
driving.
yeah, well, it's 116 miles every day, but it's not
Mm.
my car, it's their car. It's the company car. So I
Wow.
go to, and you have a route. You don't just drive all over the place. You follow your route, and you're being tracked at every
Stop.
mile. They know where you are, how fast you're going, how hard you're turning, how hard you're braking, if you're wearing your seatbelt. They know all of that stuff because the car is set up like that. You understand?
I know
So
exactly what you mean.
yeah, so that's what I do, and I do it twice. I will go out at 11,
Hmm.
do the first part, come
Right.
back to the office by 2:33, scan off all the stuff that I picked up, and then put it away in a sessioning inside the lab, and then go back out and do it all over again. Come back by 6:30
Oh,
and do
wow,
it.
that
And
must be a challenge every day to do.
it is sometimes it's at times it get monotonous because you drive the same way every day. You see the same
Hmm.
people every day. You do the same thing. You can do it in your sleep, you know. So
But don't
and then
sleep.
yeah, no, and then in between Dr. E, you have to do your little learning paths.
Hmm.
you like any job now, whatever you do, you have to do learning stuff. So you have to go online and like driving in a
Continuing
parking lot,
education.
yeah, backup procedures or transporting procedures, specimen transportation procedures and hazardous material. Know the symbols, know it's a whole nine year. Know the tubes, know what is hazardous, what is non-hazardous, what is the and believe you me, when COVID hit, oh my God, it
Mm.
was crazy, crazy. I mean, and I still up to today, that's why sometimes I said when I do my show, I will let the people know that hey, COVID's still out there. Wear your mask because it's on the rise. Because I see it every day.
Oh my.
I see like just for today purposes, I picked up three COVID specimens today. Three.
Three. Wow.
Yeah, three. And that's on a daily basis. When I start to see 10, 15, 20, 60, then I start to realize, yo, something is happening. So it's coming back up.
Mm.
So I let people know, my friends, my close friends, my family, hey, wear your mask, wash your hands because it's on the rise.
Yeah,
So
I see what you
and
mean.
and when COVID was really in 2020, 21, I was in the
Mhm.
middle of that, and
Wow.
we were handling a lot of the COVID specimens, and I mean a lot,
Wow.
So thank God I didn't get it because of the PPE,
Hmm.
the procedures, the protective equipment, and all of that stuff,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not as bad now because it's down to one or two or three a week specimens and you can tell a COVID specimen when you see one because of the container.
Mm.
You
Okay.
just have to be aware. It's somebody who don't know what a COVID specimen is will just think it's just a regular, and not just COVID, even AIDS and all of that stuff. I know what the AIDS specimen are, the type, because you have to identify them, because you have to know what you're dealing with. And
Mm.
some COVID specimens are refrigerated and some are frozen.
Wow.
Now, the frozen ones is I would say, the much milder one than the refrigerated because frozen, it's dormant, it's frozen solid.
Hmm.
It has
Hmm.
to thaw to go do some kind of that. But the refrigerated one, you have to be very careful of that one. The
Yes, I can
refrigerated
imagine.
one, the refrigerated one is the swab, the one where they put up your nose and they put it in a
Mm.
container and so you keep it refrigerated. Yes, so I see those things every day, along with other things, regular blood, um, human human bodily fluids and stuff. You understand?
Yes.
So that's
Understand. Understand. Well, that's very interesting. I could talk to you all night. You know. But let's hear your next song before I talk about your
okay.
involvement with natural
My,
vibes.
my next song is Freddie McGregor's "Born a Winner," and the reason why I like this song, Doctor E, is because you must always think, no matter what you do in life, you're going to win. You can't think negative. You must think positive. And if you ever watch any of my shows, You see how I keep it jovial and fun because I like that. I like to interact with the people that's listening, my listeners. All right, here we go. This is my other favorite song.
That's an interesting song. That was a very interesting song.
Yes, it is. It's uplifting, you know, winner, winner. Don't ever think you're not a winner. You
Yes,
always,
yes.
everybody's a winner. You just have to just know how to
Believe in yourself.
write, you know. I like that song.
Well, let's talk about natural vibes a bit. How did you get involved with natural vibes?
I got involved with natural vibes through Finey. Father Finey is the one who got me on natural vibes. Actually, I was to play on another platform, which now are stream with us on Saturday
Mm.
mornings. And that platform
Oh
is Fat
my.
Days. Fat Days I Radio.
Would
My friend Squeeze, he has a
okay.
platform too, you know. So I was to go to his platform, but because they took forever to get back with me, and it was getting frustrated. So I was Finey and I talked just about every day because I know Finey from Philly for years. Me and Finey
Hmm.
became good friends through dance hall, you know. So Finey said to me, "You want to play my natural vibes?" Well, he's been trying. He was on natural vibes before me because he had a
Hmm.
Sunday night show. I don't know if you remember, called Conversations,
Hmm.
right? I used to listen to him, you know, and I remember telling him one time, Finally, don't just sit here and looking at the camera. Say something, talk. You know, talk up, you know, involve. Get your chat room involved. Think it's like it's a party. If you
Yes.
ask Finally will tell you I said that to him, you know. So he said to me, "You want to play for National Vibes?" I said, "Yeah, man. Maybe just do it on them because he's been asking me for the longest time for play." And I
Hmm.
kept saying, "No, no, no," because I left dancehall early 2000.
Hmm.
From in the 80s to 2000, I've been in the dancehall. And when I started to see the music start to change, I decided to say, no, this is not for me anymore. So I stopped. But finding never, he didn't stop playing. He just never played in the dance hall anymore. He started to doing weddings and other,
Okay, I see.
you know. But finding was always relevant in the music. Me, I wasn't in it no more. I just stopped, totally stopped. And then because of that, and then he got me. He says, "All right, you want to play?" I say, "Yeah." So I said, "All right, give me. I'll call you back." So he call me back in 5 minutes. I say, "What do you want? You want Saturday morning? You want a weekend?" I said, "Saturday morning." And say, "All right, figure out a name for your show." I'm gonna figure out the showcase Saturday morning showcase. And I say, "All right, Errol will call you." And Errol called me a couple of days later, introduced himself, and finally was on the line too, and stuff. And that's how I got to be on Natural Vibes. And
Okay,
I
well,
started, I started out on Natural Vibes. I think I've been on there 3 years now, 3 years, if I'm not
three
mistaken.
years. Wow.
Yeah, and I started with just my show. It was just Saturday morning, just me. After my show, then at the time it was Bella after me, and after Bella was I think it was Chard, and so forth and
Hmm.
so forth. Until now, um, TMC started to came to me and asked me if it's okay to stream with me because I'm have a same opening from 9 to 1. I used to play 10 to I think it's 10 to 1.
Hmm.
And then I said, I can do more. I can start earlier, I know. And I said, okay, fine. So Bonnie from TMC had an opening.
Uh-huh.
Well, their opening from 9 to 1 is empty. So he asked
Hmm.
if it's okay. I said, no problem. So Bonnie was the first platform, TMC was the first platform to stream with my show, and it took off from there. And then Squeeze realized now that I'm no longer, he missed out. So he said, all right, how about you stream with me too at the same hour? No, Squeeze. Now, Fat Days is based in Jamaica.
Uh-huh.
They're in Jamaica, right? So I said, no problem, but I have to ask Errol first. I don't do nothing unless I get clearance from Errol. It's
Agreed.
not my platform. I play on it and I get the privilege to play on it, Dr. E. So I am going to show that respect. So I said, let me get in touch with Errol and see what Errol says. So I called Errol and me and Errol talk, and Errol said, fine. So I told him, fine. And I saw Fet Days. Now I have Fet Days and TMC.
That's
And that's what it
awesome.
is. And then now, DJ Scripple, which I didn't know, was listening to me all these times.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't know that. So he got in touch with me now and asked, hey, can I stream with you too with the same? Oh, I said, no problem. So, and Errol was okay with it. So I said, no problem. So now I have TMC, Fetdays, and Netline, and Natural Vibes. So I have 4 screens every Saturday morning.
That's
You know,
awesome. That's awesome.
that's that's how I got into Natural Vibes. So
Well, I'm really happy that you're on and that you're part of Natural Vibes family. Um, we've got to close this out, unfortunately, because this is fun. But what about your CSOs? How have you worked with them?
Oh, I the CSO that I have now that just came back. I was so
Hmm.
surprised to see her Saturday. I had to stop the show just to say welcome back, Lenny, Lady Denise Williams.
Wow, she
She
was back?
Yeah, she's back. She's back. She came back Saturday. I was
That
in the
is
middle of the
awesome.
show. I was in the middle of the show and I saw Lady Denise. I said, what? I said, no, 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 no. Stop, 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 stop. We have to stop the show for
I
this.
got to give her a call.
Yes. Because the funny thing, Dr. E, the ladies over on Fet Days in the chat room, they
Mhm,
either text me or they ask me on the actual chat room while I'm playing, how is Denise? How is Denise? Tell us,
mhm.
please. Tell her I would say hi. We prayed for her. And I would either text Denise and say, hey, Denise, the girls on Fet Days saying, how are you? They're praying for you and stuff like that. And I would give them updates. She gives me the update and I pass it on to them.
Mhm.
So they were happy. Denise is my CSO at the moment. Now that she's back, but before she got um, before her little
Hmm.
episode, she was my CSO. And then before her, I don't remember who it was. I think at one time you had it could be I Trisha or I'm guessing because I never knew who was the CSOs back then. But I
Hmm.
know that Denise was my sister because she would tell me, Castro, I have your show this morning. She would text me before the
Hmm.
show and she would say, Castro, I have your show this morning. Have a good show. And Denise would always, always, even when she was in down with her issue, she would text me, listening, great selections, love your show. And she would always text me after my show, great show, I love it, love it. Sometimes she said, send me the playlist, So
Great.
my
Great.
CSOs are good, are nice. I love them.
Well,
She keeps
Castro.
the room busy.
Well, Castro, it's been a pleasure talking with you this morning, or tonight, actually. And I look forward to a really strong working relationship as we go through the development of this station, you know. So, wish you best, and thanks for being here tonight.
I thank you. I thank you, Dr. E. And I want to also thank Errol and JP and the Natural
Mhm.
Vibes family and all the listeners. I know Fetties and TMC. TMC might hear or see their dear listeners too, and Netline listeners. I thank them very much. I love it because it's for them. I do this because I love the response. What I do, I love to see that. I love to see people having a good time. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was nice being here. Pleasure.
Pleasure. And listeners, you got to know a little bit more about DJ Castro. Listen on Saturday mornings in his Saturday morning showcase on, of course, TMC, Natural Vibes, of course. And then you can go wild in terms of listening to him on other stations. So thanks again, Castro, for being here, and bless you all. See you soon next week.